Yes, Ramesh.
Okay. Okay. So, and we are going to learn here two things. One is BED Cucumber framework concept and also rest assured concept. So these two combinedly, we are writing the automation test cases so that it will help you. You can use the BDD in the rest assured and even in the UI automation framework also. So that I'm going to explain in one framework, two concepts will come. So you can use in the API as well as UI. So again, I'll show you other way also without BDD how to write also. I'll show you rest assured. So I have created one rest assured framework and you can use that. So directly without no feature file declaration, you can write that rest assured also. So that also I will give you already, it's already developed and I will give you overview how to write, because this one will practice and you can, you can see that also. After that, after this rest assured, we are going to start the playwright. Playwright, I'll just introduce with the Java. So down the line, I'm planning to do with the JavaScript next sessions, because again we need a JavaScript. That's why I'm thinking of doing with Java. But JavaScript also easy. If you know Java, JavaScript also we can. Some programming language if you have, it's easy. Okay, let's get started with now. So without making any delay, what is REST assured? So basically, a REST assured is a framework as a Java library for automating the APIs, RESTful APIs. And basically it behaves like a headless client to access the RESTful APIs. So it is a, you can, it behaves like a behavior driven data model approach. So behavior driven data model approach. And basically you can use, so this REST assured framework with the JUnit and TestNG framework also, or you can use any one is enough. So basically this is for a Java, complete Java libraries to automate your RESTful APIs. We are using a REST assured framework. So the advantages of REST assured is it's open source. So it authenticates and justifies the response to requests like a get to, post to, put to, delete to, patch. All you can authenticate the responses based on the requests. So it provides basically given, when, then test annotations, which makes the test simple enough to understand. So given means basically it's a preconditional steps. So all your postman, you're doing a preconditional steps, right? Like URL setup, headers, request body. These are the main things. Those you can set up with a given concept. When means basically actual. When you click on send button in the postman, right? That action is happening on the get, post, put, delete methods. So that's a when. Then is after action, you will get a response. The response validations can be done on then keyword. That's a given, when, then. This is the BDD Gherkin style. BDD Gherkin style, we call this. So it also supports CI/CD integration. And you can integrate these REST assured framework test cases in the Jenkins also. And you can customize this open source reporting tool also you can customize with this. And it can be easily integrated with the Gent and TestNG frameworks. Last classes, I have shown you how to run a collection using Newman. I think last class, whoever not attended, please watch that. That is also very good command prompt tool. It's an extension for a Postman. Your Postman collections, you can run in the command prompt. So how to run, how to set up the Newman tool in the your laptop, and how to run your collections have shown you, and even you can get a report also, nice report there. So that I have shown you in the last class. That's a good session. Previously I haven't shown that, and this batch I have shown that Newman tool. So next one is disadvantage of REST assured is you should have a fair knowledge on core Java programming language. So, and also it doesn't support SOAP APIs explicitly, and it has an inbuilt reporting feature, and REST assured is not purely thread safe. So these are some of the disadvantages of REST assured. So how REST assured works? So basically 3 phases are there in the REST assured. So we can create the HTTP request using get, post, put, delete, or patch verb methods. And then we send these requests to the server. Then the server processes the data and respond it back to the client. So that's the second phase. After receiving the response, you can do a validations, all the parameter validations. So in the request, those are present or not, you are getting a proper response code or not, proper response message or not. So that's all validations you will do. This is the 3 steps you will follow in REST assured. So same thing we did in the Postman also. So the REST assured, it provides a lot of methods. Okay, so the REST assured provides a lot of methods. I listed out some of the methods here, and we can one by one we'll go, and then we'll start the BAD structure also. So get status code method. So it retrieve the status code from the response. Like status codes we know, right? 200 series, 400 series, 500 series. Those response codes, we can get them. So that's the status code. Get status line means it retrieves the status line. Complete the Postman, you have this status line, right? This one. This entire thing it will fetch. That's this status line method. Body dot as string method. Body dot as string. So to retrieve the body in the form of a string. So we want to retrieve the body in the form of a string. You can write this code. Some of the methods that we are using, I just listed out and what is meant by each method. Get header, and you give we have a header slide, accept to the value is application JSON, content type of application JSON. So whatever the header in the request you have given, that you can get it after response. So that get header method will be used to retrieve the header from the response. So JSON path dot get string key. So JSON path, that means response after you are going to get the JSON path dot get string key figure to retrieve the value of desired key from the response. Suppose you have this is the key. If you give this key, you will get this value. So this is the entire response JSON format. So that's the JSON path dot. You are getting the string of name or job or ID or created it. So that's what you are going to do that. For validating time from the response, so you can use validatable response. So the variable equal to response dot then. So you can use response dot then, and then this object reference dot time. So you're using a matches if you are so you it will come from there is a dependency in the pom.xml we are going to declare. From there you will get these matchers. So matchers are very important for validations. So I'll show you those matchers, how to use that. For validating JSON schema of the response, so you can use validatable response. So this object response dot then, and then so body. So you're using a time. So here you're using a body also. Entire schema validation you can do with this. Dot body JSON schema validator dot matches JSON schema new file JSON schema file path. Then get content type. Get content type to retrieve the content type header. To retrieve the content type header, you can use get content type. Get cookies. To retrieve the cookies from the response, you can use get cookies. Get cookie key. To retrieve the specific cookie from the response, you can use this. Get time. To retrieve the exact time taken by the request to process, you can use all. So these methods are very helpful for us. Then we have some assertion methods. Assert equals, we already saw this in the testng and JUnit, right? So assert not equal actual result, expect result, message to be displayed if test fails. Okay, these two are not matching. What message you want to throw? You can put that 3 arguments message, this one. And assert not fail, actual result, expect result, message to be displayed if the test fails. Assert true, Boolean condition. Assert false, Boolean condition. Assert not null. So that's the all the assertions, whichever you want, you can use this. So let's go and set up to RestAssured framework. Okay, before going, we need one more, right? BDD Cucumber we need to understand. So let's go and understand BDD Cucumber approach. So any doubts on the RestAssured? So this is the BDD Cucumber approach. Okay. So BDD Cucumber approach is, it can be useful for UI testing. It can be used for API testing, both the same procedure. So there are 3 modules are there. These 3 modules, if you understand, that's good enough. So first, let's understand test-driven development. So what is TDD? A test-driven approach or BDD approach is, before understanding BDD, TDD we should understand. So TDD approach is, so where you will automate the test cases before completing the development. So at least if you have a little bit, and you will create automatically this automated test case, like by using mocking systems, all those. So that's called a TDD approach. Once you run the test cases, based on that, the development will so make changes, right? The development will make no, to fix that test cases, they will develop the code. So they'll write the code. So that's the TDD approach. So what is BDD approach? So what is a BDD approach? A BDD approach is basically a behavior-driven development methodology. It has taken from TDD. The main focus is it reduces the gap between business people is non-technical people and developers. So basically, anybody can understand what you are automating. That's the BDD principle, main principle. So that means how it will work. So how they can understand. They will write the test steps in easily understandable language, that is plain English language. They will write the steps, which step you are automating, which scenario you are automating, and that scenario below you have steps that you will write in plain English. So that's why it will be easy to understand. Even business people can understand what you are automating. So in the hybrid framework, you don't have that provision, right? So there should be a technical, otherwise they cannot understand. That is the problem with the hybrid framework. So BDD approach is completely changed that. Okay, so anybody can understand what is the exact scenario. So you're automating, and so that will be beneficial for both technical and non-technical people. And so this is just a BDD is an approach. It's a framework, but this framework is supported by which tools? There are different tools we have. So Cucumber, SpecFlow, and some other tools are there, right? So in that, Cucumber is a very famous tool. Cucumber is a very famous tool. So Cucumber is a testing tool to support the BDD approach. So that's the Cucumber. Why people are following Cucumber? Because so it is an open source tool, and with Cucumber you write the test cases in different programming languages like Java, Ruby, .NET, Python. You can write. It also integrates with the Selenium, Ruby on Rails, Vatir, and the other web-based testing tools. So that's the main advantage of Cucumber, why they are using Cucumber mostly in the market. And also, as I mentioned, BDD bridges the gap between stakeholders and technical team through a common platform, that is a plain English. You will write the steps. So that is called a Gherkin language, we call that. So that Gherkin language, you will write your test cases. A simple readable format, you will write the test steps in a Gherkin format, that is given, when, and, then, but is the proposed approach for writing the test cases. So as I already mentioned, given means your preconditional steps. So when means the action related steps. So when it comes to UI, action means clicking on a button, entering the data in the edit boxes, selecting the radio button, checking the checkbox, select an option from drop. These are all actions, right? So those action related steps you can put inside this when keyword. And is basically, and is a joining multiple steps. You can use this and with the given, you can use and with when, you can use and with then also. So basically, then below you have multiple steps. You can join them each step. First you will write a then. Then next step, one more step is there. You have to use it and, not then. Even with the when also similar process. First time you will write a when. So when you will say user enters data in the edit box, username edit box, and user enters password in the password edit box, and user clicks on login button. See, when after multiple steps are joining, that when action section, so that time you will use and. Even for a given also, you can write and. Multiple preconditional steps are there, you can write here. So that is the given also. But first time you will write these keywords. Later, if multiple steps, if you want to write, and is a joining operator kind of thing for that particular Gherkin keyword. This is the Gherkin keyword, main Gherkin keyword. So let me show you a few more. And also the architecture of Cucumber, BDD Cucumber is, this is the architecture. So there are three modules are there, feature files, step definition files, test runner file. Three modules will be there. These are the heart of BDD Cucumber. So in the feature file, you will write your file name extension is dot feature. So what is the extension of feature files? So login dot feature, registration dot feature. So like that, you will write a dot feature files like this. First, you will write feature, first keywords feature like this. Feature colon feature name. Scenario colon scenario name. Given first letter cap letter. Please observe that. Given space preconditional step. Like our precondition for us is setting the base URL, setting the endpoint URL. Those are the preconditional steps. And then setting the headers, setting the request body data. These are all the preconditional steps. When, so when is action? You're pressing the send key by get method, post method, patch method, put method, delete method. That's all when. And then and is joining more actions, as I mentioned clearly. Then is a post result validation, your expected results. You want to do a validation, then you can use a then keyword like a status code verification. So you want to verify status code is 200 or not, status code is 401 or not, status code is 500 or not. You want to validate some kind of status code, then you can use this, and messages and some field validations, everything you can write with a then keyword. So once you write this feature file with this format, given when then format, same steps must be implemented in the step definition. This step you are defining in the step definition file. What is that? So this Gherkin keyword given will become an annotation in the step definition Java file. Each step name will be the plain Java method. Each step name is your plain Java method. You will create a method structure in the step definition file. Same step, it should match here. And inside the Java method, write the your RestAssured code or Selenium code, whatever you want. So when I designed this diagram, at that time we were explaining Selenium, but we implemented later to RestAssured also. So any code, any logic you develop, this step method inside. I'll show you that. So once you write like this, every feature file you have to implement in the step definition file. Every step you have to implement. Every step you have to implement. Every step you have to implement in the step definition file. So any step if you are missing, you will get an exception. So you are missing some steps, no implementation, it will tell. So you will get an exception. Then test runner. So it's a JUnit test runner class or a test-ng test runner class, anything you can use. And you can use @run with, @suit, @cucumber options. So let's go and discuss one by one here. So this is the format. See, feature. I want to log in into the site with valid data and invalid data. That's my feature. So background. So background keyword is the another Gherkin keyword, which tells if some, okay, some step is common for multiple scenarios. You don't need to write every time same repeatedly. That you can put in the background below, given I navigate to website. So this is the common, right? So that's why I kept so background keyword. So that represent the common thing. You can use this given. I navigate to website. So scenario, login as a new sign up user with valid data. When I entered the username and I entered the password, see that this when is coming here. When after and I entered the username and I entered the password and click on the sign in button. See, multiple steps are joining with when. That's how you can use and Gherkin keyword. Then validate user successfully logged in. See, then is validating. So whether you logged in or not. But login button is not present. So that then, so you're writing a but also. So this is all about scenarios in the uh, given when and then keyword format. So scenario, login as a new sign up user with invalid data. When I entered an invalid username and I entered the password and click on sign in button, then error message should display, but relogin option be available. So these are the Gherkin keywords we call this. Given when then. See, given is you don't need for every scenario. This is the one scenario. This is the one scenario, right? So you navigating to the website is common step that you are avoiding that. So this is how you will write in plain English in the UI test cases or API test case, all are same. Even karate framework also, they will follow this BDD style. Karate framework also, API, that is karate framework is for UI testing, sorry, API testing. You can do API, UI also and mobile also with the karate framework, but still, so first you have to define the everything in the feature file. There is no step definitions required for karate framework. Only everything declaration in the feature file only. So that's why please focus on this homework. So we have seen many Gherkin keywords, right? That many Gherkin keywords. Let's explain about feature keyword. The feature file starts with a keyword feature. So that's what here. It starts with a feature keyword colon. And so under feature, you can mention the feature name which you are going to test it. So this is the one feature. So feature keyword, that one. So feature files, so starts with a with no feature file is with a dot feature extension, which describes what feature you are testing in a easily readable English language you will write. That's the feature file. So a feature file usually contains a feature with multiple scenarios for testing that feature. So now we have written here two scenarios, right? Same feature may contain multiple scenarios. So it may contain multiple scenarios. scenario. Next feature after scenario will be there. So there can be more than one scenario under one feature file. Each scenario starts with a keyword scenario, say S capital, followed by the scenario name. Say like this. So scenario. So this is the scenario name. So scenario, login as a sign up user with invalid data. So next, given keyword. So given keyword is normally used when we have to give some preconditional steps. So this is the given user is on the home page of the site, or user is navigating to the login page. So that's the given keyword. So when keyword is used to perform some action, so any action related steps, if you want to refer, you can use a when keyword. So and keyword is, there is no annotation for and keyword, but it is used to connect more than one statements and provide the logical and condition. And means joining, right? So basically, and is joining, right? Joining more than one statements. The same approach here also. Basically, it's joining more than one statements. So even then keyword is used to do a final validations in the response. So but keyword is used to represent a negative assertions in addition to the previous statement. That's one. And background is another interview question also. What is background? What is the use of background? So please understand, a background is if there is any repetitive step that is going to be common for every scenario. So that common step you are using in every scenario. Instead of writing in every scenario, duplication, we don't need to do here. If you use a background keyword, you can avoid that duplication. So just declare a background and that repetitive step, put it here under below the background. We just add the repetitive step under the keyword background. Step keep under background would be, so run before every scenario. Automatically it will call. So like in our test-ng before method, right? Before method and after method. Every test case before method will execute. And every test after, at the rate after test, after method will execute. Like that. So this background keyword. So the best practices of BDD Cucumber is, so write the test scenarios as early as possible in the feature files. That's the first one. So you have to write the test scenarios before creating your code. So developing scenarios basically helps you to understand the functional flow, how they are working, so that you can easily write the code properly. So that's a scenarios preparation is a very important in the Cucumber best practices. Okay, so and once a scenario is ready and reviewed by your teammates, and a business team also will review your so scenarios, and we can start implementing the functionality. So the code you can write. So that will save time and effort because without understanding, you cannot write also. So that's the main advantage of this thing. Next, features and scenarios. We have already seen features and scenarios. Some more examples I have given here. Okay. So using background also, I have given some examples. So this is the another approach you are giving a data to this step. So you are giving a data to this step. So that's a data tables concept. I'll explain that. Okay. So in the coming, so practically we'll see that. Okay. Step definitions. What is step definitions? Once you develop the feature files, you have to implement that each step, right? That you will do in the step definitions. So how you will do, see that. You have written like this, a given user navigate to website. So in the step definition, your file, Java class file, you will write @ given bracket, and this step name as it is, you will write here. That's the how you will follow in the step definitions. And the data table concept, as I mentioned clearly. So when you enter the valid credentials here, so like this, and so this is the data driven testing automatically it will take. This is the data table.